Hey everyone, no respawns, hope you're having a fantastic weekend. So, in this video, I'm going to give you an overview on how the Survivor Squad section works in the Squads section up here. Now, the reason I want to do this is because, see, Fortnite's a great game, it's really good fun, however, it has some of the worst tutorials I've ever encountered. Some things are just drawn out, and basically you get it in an instant, but it decides it needs to show you constantly. Or, in the case of Survivor Squads, they basically brush over it very, very briefly, and unless you really, really are paying attention, which, to be honest, most of us are just playing a game and slacking around, so probably not, you might miss a few things, and obviously you'll eventually figure it out, but however, it's one of those things you kind of want to maximize as early as possible. So, right, so as you can see, on the menu before I actually click into it, it says slot survivors into squads to increase fort stats and gain extra bonuses. Then I have a 5% shield regen, and a 5% shield bonus. Now, as you can see, the stats, if you go right there, called fort, so fortitude, offense, resistance, tech. Just to give you a quick overview, so fortitude increases your health and your health regen by about 1% per point, and offense does the same, but except with melee and ranged, 1% per point. Resistance is shield and shield regen, 1% per point. And then tech is kind of the other stuff. So trap damage, ability damage, gadget damage, and healing done. And it's 1%. So for example, I'm getting a 105% boost to my health and my health regen compared to what it would be base. Same with defense, resistance, tech, yada, yada, yada. Right now, those two shield and shield regen rate, I will get to them. So firstly, as you can see, you've got these teams. So I've got my EMT, Fire Team, Alpha, Corps of Engineering, Scouting Party. Then you get Gadgeteers, Training Team, Close Assault Squad, and the Think Tank. Now, you've probably seen you upgrade, you actually unlock these in the skill tree, and then you can unlock the slots within these teams further down in the skill tree. So my best one is my EMT squad. As you can see, I've got a job match, which is the most important thing you want, and that's the tick. And then I'm getting a shield regen bonus, and as you see, it says personality match, and I'll explain that. So if I go in, I've got, now you have two different kinds of survivors. You have a leader, so lead survivor, and then you have just general survivors, and all of them also have their own ranks. So I've got epic lead survivor, but I've actually got a legendary survivor. Now it's worth noting the lead survivor will often be themed. So for example, I've got a doctor, right? Same with this one. I've got Matey Boy here, so he's a soldier dude. And then I've got my lead engineer, and I've got my master scout who's got a piece of corn in his mouth. But it's worth noting that your supporting survivors don't generally look like they'd fit. It may seem weird, but for example, I was literally picking people on, does that person look like a doctor at first? It's just something you might want to pay attention. Now, with your lead survivor, they'll have two symbols. So he says pragmatic, and he's doctor. Now, the doctor, so if you're looking at the actual portrait here, the one on the right is their job. So that's the important thing. And if you want to know if the job is the job match, it's really simple. At the top of the EMT squad, Fire Team, it actually has the symbol you're looking for. So for example, if I go to Scouting Party, as you can see, he has the Explorer, which is the binoculars. So if you're ever confused, the reason why I mention this is, say if I go to over here, if you're not paying attention to the symbols, you might think that this lady here would be a good match because she vaguely looks like a doctor, but you actually look, she matches the Think Tank symbol. It seems simple, but it's one of those things that just might pass you over and get you a little bit confused. Now the second, so the one on the left, is pragmatic, so that's his personality type. So that is what you want as many as possible, if not all, of your squad survivors to match. So as you can see, this Reanimator, that's quite a cool name. Oh wait, no, the Reanimator is the actual squad slot, not her name, that's it, sorry. So this lass here has pragmatic. So that means, it just means you get more of a bonus to whatever stat that team boosts, right? So for example, if I would replace her with another legendary, I'm not going to actually do it, but it actually shows you how it would go down. And as you can see, it goes down quite a bit. So that's with the personality match bonus, right? So ideally, for example, Matey Boy here, I do have other people which have personality matches. But the problem is because, well, the good thing is because he's quite a tough hero, it means that it's better if I use him. So if I go in, See, he just boosts it up quite a lot. So often, for example, when you've got legendary, like especially early on when you don't have many heroes, survivors to choose from, often you'll find that you're going to put a legendary or an epic hero survivor in there anyway, because they're better than the common or uncommon survivors you might have, which are personality matches. Right, now the second one, see, with these guys, they don't have, in place of the job, so as I said, this one has doctor, but on the survivor squad, they have a ability symbol. So for example, this one has shield regen bonus, and so does he, which means, and as you can see, it says 2 of 2. So what that means is, if I were to just replace her with someone else, right? So I now don't have that shield regen bonus. So if I want that shield regen bonus in this squad, I need to have at least 2 people with that. And that this is where you really start to kind of get into the meta game, especially later on, I imagine. But the fact is, for example, say I wanted, I don't know, see, ability, let's say trap damage. So say I wanted to focus as much extra trap damage as I could. I would put as many as possible here, survivors with the trap damage function. So actually, let's just do it here. So let's just make, even though these won't actually match. So I'll do here. I've got another one. Oops, she's already gone. And then what we got? We got it on a higher level. So him, there we go. So now I've got trap damage, and I've now got a 5% trap damage. Now you can imagine when you've got these 8 teams, 8 squads unlocked, and if I'm going, okay, I want trap damage in each one, or I want weapon damage, or I want melee weapon damage, like this one, for example. And that allows you later down the line, that, you know, potentially, if you did 5% in each, or even, I'm assuming you can potentially have groups of 3. So how many are there? 1, 2, 3. So there are, what, 7? Yeah, so there's 7 people, and the survivor, so you could potentially have 50% extra trap damage just from your survivor squad. So that's where the kind of meta game lies. So what you want to pay attention to first is make sure you get a lead survivor who matches. Very important. And then make sure your support, like for example, these are just diabolical. However, they're all legendary. So even though, for example, there are people with actual matching, quite simply put, it's just still better with those lasses in. So that's what to pay attention to there. It's going to be quite fun. Also, later down the line, as you can see, so you've got, for example, Adventurer, Explorer, Survivor. Now, if you just press A here, you can see where you unlock them on the skill tree. And that's the same, I believe. If I go, I don't know if you can do it. Oh, yeah, so there we go. If I want to upload the Gadgeters, which is soonish, it's quite far in the level 2 skill tree, which is a bit annoying, actually. I was hoping I'd get those a little bit earlier. So I've got some leads. I've got the think tank lead survivor. Oh wait, no, okay. So basically, most of them seem to be the level skill to it. Also, this is interestingly enough, for whatever reason, I haven't figured out how to access the skill tree higher level tiers from anywhere else other than doing this. So if you ever want to see what level, like what's on the upper level skill tiers trees, you can actually just go from there. For example, hover turret. Ooh, exciting. Anyway, anywho, so I hope that gives you guys a bit more of an insight into exactly how this works. So, for example, I'm probably just gonna focus on the high stats, to be honest, because it's just easier. Or I might leave him in. Oh, actually, there we go. There we go. I can get a shield bonus. That was I had before, doesn't it? So yeah, it's quite fun. And as you can see, because I've kind of maximized this as much as I can, I've got quite a strong fortitude resistance. I would have shown you how to level up. I don't know if I actually have any skill points. So, for example, as you probably already figured out already, you can upgrade these from here. I don't actually have any XP left, and that further increases the bonus. So, for example, this doctor guy, just by dint of the fact he was one of the first lead survivors I got, I've got him up to level 10 already, and so I get quite a huge fortitude boost. My tech one just is because I just have loads of legendaries. No, yeah, it's because I have more people in there, rather, and they're kind of legendary and epic level. So yeah, I hope you guys found that really useful. It's one of those things that isn't really explained so well in the game, especially with how much info they throw at you, and maybe you're just at that point as well, you're eager just to kind of get into the missions and smash it up and kill hosts. It might have kind of skipped you by a little bit. Anyway, as always, follow me on Twitter at norespawns. I will have a new Fallout 4 video as well as more Fortnite videos upcoming soon, so definitely keep an eye out. and you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a nice week too. You take care.